Hey guys, this is Amit again. Back to you guys with the tutorial. I was just going through the basics of Apache server with a couple of my students, and I thought, I would just make a video with all the basics of Apache web server. So let me start here. Give me 1 second. All right, so the Apache web server is like, it constitutes almost 60% of all the internet web servers. So it's pretty, widely used, and as a systems administrator or as a Linux person, it's good that you know the basics of the Apache web server. All right, so to begin with, this is not an advanced Apache video tutorial. It's just the basics, to help you understand the Apache web server and to get you going so that the basics, and then you can start exploring on your own, and then learn more about the Apache. So the Apache web server, um, the Apache web server. In order to configure Apache web server in the Linux or the Unix environment, you have to install the package called HTTPD, which means the HTTP daemon. Right. So this is the package name that you need to install, and in order to find out whether or not your system already has the package installed, you can use rpm-q httpd. So I'm talking about the CentOS or the Red Hat flavor of Linux. So I mean, if you are using Ubuntu or something else, and you might just have to find out what the package name is, right? I mean, the package name is usually HTTPD, but you might just need to find out what the command is to talk to your package manager. So here, the RPM is the package manager for the Red Hat systems. So the RPM stands for Red Hat Package Manager, and then minus Q here is, as we are saying, query the Red Hat Package Manager database and find out if the HTTPD package is installed. The other way you could check is RPM minus QA, and then a pipe grep minus I HTTPD. So this second command, what it does is it queries the Red Hat Package Manager like the last one, but with the option A, we're saying query all the packages that are installed. And then it's going to give you a big list of everything that's installed in the system. But then what we are doing is we are using a pipe to pass the command, the output to the grep command, where we are only, catching those outputs that have HTTPD in their output. All right. Okay. So once you do this, and if the package is not installed, then you got to install the package, right? So in the Red Hat based systems, again, the command to install Apache would be as yum install httpd, right? Okay. And this is like the main package, and then if you wanted to, or if you needed to, you could install yum install httpd-devel, which is like the development libraries and the source code for the httpd if you wanted to compile additional modules, or I mean, something of that nature. And then there are other packages that you can install if you are going to use it that way. So, for example, yum install mode. I think it's mode underscore Perl. So this is what you are doing is actually installing the Perl module. So you can the Apache's version of the Perl interpreter. So most likely you might also have like the Python module for Apache. And then if you wanted to have the PHP support, you can do yum install PHP. And most likely if you are using PHP, you are going to be connecting to the database. So you would do PHP-MySQL. All right. So these are the most basic packages that you might want to install along with your Apache installation. All right. So okay, let's check on this machine. I have a machine in the background. Let's see if I have the. So what we're going to do is RPM minus Q HTTPD, right? Okay. So uh, it is telling us that the package is not installed, right? So I mean the other command that I gave was QA grep minus I HTTPD. And so, since there's no output, that means that we do not have HTTPD installed, like, like we figured out from this command here, right? All right. So, what's the next step? We're gonna have to install the package, right? Okay. So let's just go ahead and install yum install HTTPD. All right. So it's having a problem making SSL. Okay, that's just the error with one of the maybe the certificate is expired or something. All right, let's just let it go through and finish installation. It's taking a while. All right, so it is ready to install the HTTPD package. And there are a couple dependencies for that. So the APR, the APR util, the APR util LDAP, HTTPD tools. This usually has like the HTPassWD command that is used for the basic authentication or generating the HT passwords. We'll talk about that later, maybe. And the make is for compiling the packages and then the OpenSSL. All right, so let's just go ahead and install that. All right, almost there. Okay, the package is installed, but just to show you, let's do the yum install mode. Let me do yum list grep minus I mode underscore. So see, these are like the modules that we have. So we could install a lot of modules, but like I said, this mod underscore Python is for the Python interpreter. This is the mode Perl, and the mode SSL is to support the HTTPS. So let's go ahead and do that, mode underscore SSL. All right. Okay, so that's that. Now, you could also go ahead and install yum, install PHP, and then PHP MySQL. I mean, it's just like installing any packages. All right, so that's done. Okay, so now if we do rpm minus QA grep minus I HTTP, so now we have packages installed, right? Okay, so in order for you to check the status of the Apache web server, whether or not it is running, you could just do service HTTPD status. So the HTTPD is stopped, right? The other way you could check is netstat minus 2pan grep minus I HTTP. So nothing is listening on it, or you could do a PSAUX grep minus I HTTP. Yeah. I mean, it's just, return the grep minus I to whatever we ran. In order to avoid that, you could do grep minus V grep, right? Okay. So now we install the package. Now let's see what the, how we can configure the web page or whatnot. So One of the command that I think can be helpful is the httpd minus capital V. So with this command, it shows you the version, the the server version, the date and time the server was built, and these are like the additional module. You know, now you can see that this machine has is a 32-bit architecture, or the package HTTPD. You could have installed a 32-bit package on a 64-bit machine. The other interesting topic, I mean the parameters would be, so see here, you have the httpd underscore root points to slash etc httpd. So if you were to go in a new environment, somebody could have installed the Apache in non-default location. So you could just issue this command to find out what the current HTTP route is. All right. Okay. And then the other thing is the server configuration file. So the server configuration file is the conf httpd. So combined with the http root, um, combining these two together, you get the full path for the http configuration file, which is vi. Let me do this. Vi VIHC httpd conf and then httpd.conf, right? Okay. So I mean, there are so many things that are here in this configuration file. If you look at it, it has like 1009 lines of configurations, um, uh, heavily commented. You can just go through, read the comment, and understand a lot of things and configurations. But I mean, most of the times for just the basic installation, you might not even need to like know all the configuration parameters or mess with them. If you just wanted to set up a website or something, just to start learning how Apache works. But as you go using the Apache, as you go for like more complex configurations and things like that, you gradually can start learning the different parameters, etc. All right, so let me remove the line numbers. No number. All right, okay. So you see here, the document already, the default configuration file already comes with a block of sample virtual host configuration. So by virtual host, what we mean is like, we are hosting a website in this machine, but we could have multiple websites. So for each website we create the configuration inside the virtual host block. All right, so I'm going to create an www.example.com website configured on this machine. So okay, just for the reference, I can say my configurations here. That's a comment, and now I can start writing my configuration block. So the virtual host star colon 80. What does that mean? So the word star here means, this specifies the interface on which the Apache would listen on port 80, right? So by putting this star in here, what we mean is listen on all the available interfaces, all right? So, and then this specifies the port number. That's the default port 80. Sometimes like the administration websites are set on 8080. I mean, it's up to you, but a default website, a normal general website would, of course, have to work on port 80 or 443 if SSL. So, okay, and then now the next block is actually the way Apache figures out which block of virtual host to execute and what files to serve in a multiple web hosting environment is like by the server name. Server name, let's say www.example.com. All right, okay, and then document root. So this is where you have your website file. So you want to point it to the location where you have the application or the web page files stored. So this is going to be, let's say, I'm going to put it under var www.html and then example.com. And then the other thing is the server admin. It's like the webmaster or whatever, whoever should be notified, or whenever there is an error, 500 internal server error or anything like that. It'll display on the web page, just contact webmaster at this so and so. So you could have webmaster at example.com, right? And then the next is the error log. If you don't specify the error log here, it's gonna write to the same the default error log. Sorry, not that one, which is gonna be var log httpd error underscore log, and the access underscore log would be for all the access logs. So, I mean, you could specify here logs slash example.com dash error underscore log, just in the format above. And then you can say custom logs slash example.com dash access underscore log. And then you would just say common. So everything else goes in here. All right. And then the other parameter that you can do is directory index. By default, it's going to take the index.html, but if you wanted to, let's say home.html or something, you could just specify here. All right, so now we're going to close the virtual host, right? So see here, we configure the www.example.com, right? So when we put that address in the browser, it needs to resolve or point that website to this computer's IP address. So because this is in a virtual environment and the www.example.com really does not resolve to this address, what I'm going to do is I'm going to override it in its host file. So if you specify here, let me see what the IP address is for this machine. So it's 192. All right. So let's go here. So what I'm going to say is this IP address be accessible by www.example.com. All right. So now if I do a ping of www.google, sorry, it's used to it, example.com, and it's just gonna, reply back. So okay, we're good, right? So I mean, we've done the configuration and stuff, so we are gonna just do always check the syntax before you apply changes or restart the Apache web service, because sometimes you may work on the existing or the running web server, and then you add one new virtual host, and then if you make some syntax errors, and then you do a service HTTPD restart or a reload, then maybe it'll just stop, and then it won't be able to start because there's a configuration error. So, okay. So what it is saying here is the warning document root var www.html/example.com does not exist, of course. And then this is just the FQDN error, fully qualified domain name. I mean, that's, you can just ignore that for now. So let me create mkdir var www.html/example.com. Let me go to that directory. I'll just create like a sample page there. So we are saying home.html is the default document. By putting that in the directory index, what we are saying is look for home.html. All right, so I'm going to say h1. This is example.com. All right, this is just the HTML tag, the h1. All right, so service HTTPD restart. All right, so this failed was because it was not started, so there's it's failed stopping. So okay, all right, so how can we browse that page? You could do curl http www.example.com. So we get the HTML code because it was curl, right? So or what you can do is yum install links. You can just install the links like a command line browser, if you will. Let's let that finish. Oh, come on. Maybe some of the repository is like, not working anymore. We'll see. All right, so let me just stop this guy. Yum, clean all. I'm just cleaning the, okay. Yum, install links. Might be just thought maybe it's okay. This is something else, guys. Let me just pause, fix that real quick, and then I'll continue. All right, I just removed the faulty repository configuration file. Hopefully it'll work this time. All right, so we are installing the links or the e-links, you know. So now what we can do is links http://example.com, right? Okay, and here is the like this is example.com, right? So this is like a text-based browser, command line browser. You can just do some dirty text, testings with this tool instead of having to browse it in the real browser. All right, you press Q and then quit out of that. All right, so we just created the example.com. Now let me go to here and then I'm going to do 192.168.100.40. I'm going to say www.test.com and then 192.168.100.40. I'm just going to say also test.com. All right, so let's go to httpd.conf. We're going to do one more web host, okay? Virtual host star colon 80 server name www.test.com. All right, so usually some people might not even bother to type the www, right? They might just type test.com. So in that case, what you want to do is in the same virtual host block, you can say server alias and then you can just say test.com. What that means is even if it is test.com, just execute this block of code. Or you could say site.test.com, or you can write multiple aliases. All right. Okay, so the document root, we can say var www.html and then the test.com. Error log and custom log, I'm going to skip because you already saw how we configured that in the web link. And then, directory index, you don't need that. Unless you wanted it to be something other than the index file, right? And then you can say server admin. Admin is going to be a webmaster or the admin at test.com. This is really it, right? All right, unless you have some other configurations to do. This is just a basic example. All right, so never forget to do the httpd -t. It complains about the directory not being present. HTML test.com. We go to var www.html test.com, and then we're gonna say index.html because we remember we don't have the directory index this time. So all right, so we're gonna say S2, this is test.com, S2. I wanted to show you guys something because there's gonna be an issue here. Reload, all right, links, test.com, all right. So you see this, notice this is what I wanted to show you guys. So we said we said that the test.com needs to serve the page from var www.html and then test.com, but it is still serving the file from this is the example.com's home.html, right? Yes, exactly. Because let me show you something here real quick. Vi etc httpd conf httpd.conf. All right. So here we said listen on star colon 80. Here we said listen on star colon 80. So they are listening on the same exact IP addresses, the same interfaces. Unless you have the multiple IP addresses, you could have said, listen on this IP address for this website, and then listen on this IP address for this website, right? That would make it easier for the Apache to know which page you are actually looking for, right? Now, but the other thing is we also have this server name that we want Apache to use and serve the pages from test.com or the example.com based on whatever the server name is passed. In order for the Apache to do that, you really need to enable name-based hosting, which is just go to the top, you can just forward slash and then name virtual host. All right. Okay, this is commented out. So we are gonna just uncomment it, and then we're saying what we are saying is enable the name-based hosting, on all the interfaces at port 80. So okay, I mean you can learn lot, point tons of information about what the name virtual hosting is, but that's the basic. So now we are telling Apache to look at the server name, right? Service HTTPD reload. Not sure if this will work or we have to restart, but let's see. Test.com. All right, so now we're getting the test.com page. So that's how you enable the name-based hosting instead of the IP-based hosting. Most of the times, it does not make sense to have a lot of, a different IP address for different websites, right? I mean, especially if you are doing hosting or, unless the customer wants a dedicated IP address for their for various reasons. All right, so that's the basics. Let me just exit out of here, and then let me show you a couple things here. var log httpd. This is the default log directory for the Apache, and then if you go in there, then you're gonna see a bunch of log files, right? So okay, let me go through all of this. Access log. This file has the default, like if the pages that were asked for the Apache did not belong to any of the virtual hosts that you configured, it'll just be written in access log. And then all the error logs, the default error log, it's going to be written, the default errors are going to go to the error log. Now the other thing is now we have example.com/dash access log. So any access log, access related log means, someone accessing the web page is going to be written onto this log for the example.com because we specified it to use this log file inside the virtual host block, right? Okay. And then similarly, any errors related to example.com is going to be written here. This is the SSL access log if the request was over SSL, and this is the error for the SSL and then the SSL request log. All right, I'm probably gonna do do a different video for the SSL portion because it's already like about 30 minutes, and then I don't want to bore you guys. And there's a ton of things that I can talk about Apache, but just I think this is a good starting point, and then you guys can always comment or send me an email. Amit@amitnepal.com. I can type the email address for you guys. All right, so amit@amitnepal.com. This is my email address, and guys can send me an email, and I'll try to help you out. I kind of normally don't have a lot of time, but I can send a quick reply email. All right. Anything else I'm missing? Very important thing. Just go to httpd.conf and then httpd.conf. Just go through the file ones. I would say, let me do this actually. cd httpd.conf httpd.conf. Whoops. All right, so here, what I can do is get httpd.conf grep -v, and then don't show me the comments. All right, so, okay, that's that. I don't want the blank lines either. Right, so what I can say is, all right, so yeah, what we can do is we just need the pipe here. So what I'm saying here, let me write it down first, and then I'll talk about that. So I need this and dollar, right? Okay, still did so some of them. All right, let me do this. Grep -v. I don't want anything. So no empty lines. Oh, yeah, I missed that. All right, and then this. All right, so it's only printing whatever it is. Okay. So I'm gonna output that to httpd dot dash no comments dot conf. Right. Okay. So httpd-nocomments.conf. All right. So you see here, I kind of tried to remove all the. So the server token OS. This is like, when you open a page, then it's gonna say if there is a not found or anything like that. It's gonna give a signature. So it might be a little extra information for you, but I mean, you don't want to display the information because there are hackers out there. So you can change this to actually product only. So what it's gonna do is it's gonna it's gonna just say it's an Apache server, but it's not gonna shade it's not gonna display the version number. If you did not do this, then actually it would just say the version also. So if you were running an older version and then there are known exploits, someone could take advantage of that. The other thing that's not shown here is you could say server signature off. That's another thing. Just a security spec. Okay, and then the server root, okay, it's in here as well. And then the PID file, this is like, it creates this file when it starts, and that kind of thing. Timeout, keep alive, max keep alive request, and this is the pre-fork module for forking the HTTP process. So visually, I mean, this is a little advanced. And this is like the fine-tuning, optimizing the web server. If you have a very heavy load based on the machine configuration and stuff like that. All right, I'm not going to talk about that at this time. This is the workers threads, I mean, so start server 4, max client 300, and things like that. That's again an advanced topic. Listen, this is the listen port. It listens on port 80. So these are all the modules that are loaded, right? There are different modules like the authentication modules, the compression, uh, I mean, tons of different modules. So the other thing is user Apache and group Apache. This is like the user and group the Apache server runs as. The server admin, if you don't specify in the virtual host block, this is a good place to specify one. I mean, so you don't have to like specify the server admin on each block. I mean, if the admin is going to be the same, of course. So use canonical name of, and the document root, the default document root is var HTML. So these are like the some of the I don't know if I should talk it here in this video now, but there's like an htaccess file that you can use to like specify directory specific rules, like the redirection and authentication, allowing certain IP addresses to connect and things like that. So this is the configuration for that particular directory, the slash. So for var HTML options, indexes, follow same links, allow, override, none, or allow, deny, allow from all. So, it's allowing access from everywhere. This is the user dir.c. Again, this is like if you wanted to enable the user's home directory for the web access. I mean, easily done in the hosting environment. All right. This is saying access file name htaccess. This is for the like creating the directory per directory rule sets, like I said before. And then the directory index that we did in the virtual host block is also here. That's why the index.html is the default one, and the other is index.html.var. All right, I'm going to skip this, and then the error logs here, log format is defined here, the icons directory and all that stuff. Let me see if anything else of interest I need to talk about for this video. Probably not. Okay, so yeah, that's it. I mean, so I mean, there are tons of other configurations that may not be present in this configuration file. So just feel free to look up the information on the internet. There are tons of documents you can read, and just email me if you need anything from me. I'll try to respond to you as soon as I can. and then just maybe subscribe to my channel. I'll keep coming up with videos as the time permits. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. I mean, the advanced guys. I mean, this was just a basic one for the starters. So you know. Don't be, oh crap, lip thing. Yeah. So, okay, I mean, this is just an educational video, like I don't assume any liability or whatsoever. Anything, just try it on your own risk, okay? All right, see you in the next video.